And
or join at
ladies and
9.
gentlemen, we are back and we have another insane matchup coming to you tonight. Leaper, you are still here with me in the booth. Give us a little rundown on that first series while we start to filter in the two new squads into the lobby.
Yeah, for those of you that missed it, or just want a little recap, Bleacher Boys beat Clarity United 2-1, taking their third week in a row of a 2-1 victory. Clarity United did take the loss. They did win their first week, took a sweep the second week, and so they're probably relatively happy they did not get swept again. But a loss always does suck. So that's pretty much a wrap up of last game.
Yeah, and very, very great match indeed. Both teams pushing each other to the limit, it seemed like, Leaper.
Yeah, there was a lot of great plays. I mean, I saw two possible contenders for goals of the week, even in just that series. Crazy head off going there, with Alex and Golden Pickle and Eagle and Scraps. And there's a lot of players that were on that field that were, great players making lots of plays.
Now, we don't have much time before these players start hitting the field. Who's going to take this one here, Leaper?
I got to go with Hammerhead for tonight. I know they just have added a new player, and Spectres did lose last week, but so did the Hammerhead. So it's really anybody's game here as far as who takes it. I'm gonna just put my bet on Hammerheads.
And you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Hurry up and vote quick while you still can. Wager those channel points. We've got one more match immediately following this between the Cyclones and the Kings. But first, the Spectres will try to take on the defending champion Hammerheads of the QRLS. And Spectres, the only expansion team last season, Leaper, to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Moshmoon definitely has put together a really good team. He did last season, and he has here. Both teams actually almost completely different than they were last season, besides their captains.
Yeah, very good point indeed. It's going to be, as I like to call them, a barn burner. This is going to be so much fun. Obviously, I have a lot of capital in both of these teams, Mass Immune being an admin and Hammerheads being my alma mater, so a lot riding on this one for me personally, but I am always excited to see more Rocket League. And like you mentioned, both these teams coming off of losses.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing here is K1 is actually present. He was not here for the previous 2 weeks. You have to wonder, will they be playing him here?
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see if K1 gets into this match tonight. We haven't seen him yet so far this season. Going to see if this man can get back on track. Former league champion in his own right as a captain of the Kings franchise. And that Season 4 Kings team, that Season 2 Kings team was just something to behold. And we have players hitting the field, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what that means. That means kickoff is about to be underway, and K1 Killer is in the game, along with Zack Attack for the Hammerheads. So, same lineup for the Hammerheads that we have seen, but K1 making his Season 6 debut.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting seeing Billy Bob and K1 and Mossmoon, all veterans of the league here on the field at the same time. Looks like Hammerheads are getting kind of an early lead here on the offensive.
Billy Bob puts one towards the net, squeezes it by, and this man is second all-time in goals.
And he definitely deserves it. I was on Billy Bob's team, the Hammerheads, during Season 4. He was my captain, and he is definitely a force to be reckoned with here. It is Billy Bob. He is probably one of my contenders for the GOAT.
Just want to remind you, Leaper, that of the man who drafted him across from you in the broadcast booth tonight. So, big goal there by Billy Bob very early on in game number 1 as the Spectres back on the defensive once again. Massimian gets the save. Billy Bob looking for the touch. This one floats in front of the net. Goes by the post, however. No one to attack and force that thing in. Spectres need to get on offense.
Yeah, they do. They're kind of pinned up here in the corner. Like I said, both teams are relatively new. However, I do believe Fabrizi and Billy Bob were on the team last season, so they definitely do have that connection. And they both are working here together pretty well on offensive. And I think that's kind of what's given the Hammerhead an edge here. Is just they're better adapted to an offensive here soon.
We see Massimmune try to get the clear. Zack Attack now pushes towards the mid. Long neck pushes this into the offensive zone. Spectres finally have a look on offense. Gets a push for Breezy. Trying to get the clear. Billy Bob now corrals this thing in the corner. Off the ceiling. Could we see a highlight? No. Long neck gets that clear. He is one of the rookies here on the Spectres roster.
Yeah, Longneck definitely put on a show for their last game. He was definitely probably one of my favorite parts about watching and commentating on that game. He's surprisingly a great player. He definitely is showing himself out here as a good contender for maybe Rookie of the Season.
K1 Killer looking for the pass down to Longneck. Longneck corrals it, doesn't quite get by Fabrizi, however, as this thing booms into the offensive zone of the Hammerheads. Billy Bob can't get the 50 on Longneck. This thing goes towards the Spectres' offensive goal side. Can we see the Spectres look to answer with 3 minutes left to go here? Hammerheads lead 1-0.
Great shot there by Masamoon. Textbook save by Billy Bob. It does seem like they are... another shot there by K1. It does seem like they are putting a little bit more offensive on, but they kind of gave up their defensive. As you saw there, when the ball left, their goal was almost empty. If Fabrizi had gotten any kind of slam there, that could have been, another point down for Spectres.
And a big 50 by Masamune misses wide, however. That could have easily gone in. The net was empty, but nonetheless, we see the Spectres try to push this thing back into the offensive zone. Longneck sizing up Fabrizi, can't get the 50, however. That would have been a bully goal.
Yes, it would have been, and here's Masamoon, he's definitely looking to get that offensive play. All of his players are in the perfect position for a goal here, but Billy Bob and his Hammerheads, their defense is seemingly unmatched right now. Nothing is breaking through.
Yeah, and you point out a very good point in Fabrizi and Billy Bob both being on the roster last season. Fabrizi, feeding Billy Bob all season long. Billy Bob, the defending league MVP. Defending champions, both of them now, a lot of chemistry and going into their second season together.
Yeah, and the teamwork is almost showing off here pretty well. I've seen quite a few plays between Fabrizi and Billy Bob in particular out of the three Hammerheads. So, you have to wonder if they're looking for the same kind of thing with maybe Zack Attack or Papa, if they're looking for that third man that they can maybe jump into next season with.
Shot here by the Spectres, 1:20 remaining. There's still only one goal on the board, and that was very early into this game, about 20 seconds in. Masamune sizes this up, can't get the 50 on Billy Bob, however, as we see a big push by the Hammerheads. Sidewall, Zack Attack can't get the open net as he wants that one back.
He definitely does want that one. It seems like a little bit of a bump from behind might have thrown him off there. Since that early match, the Spectres haven't been working their defense fairly well. They're not really letting anything through. It's kind of just a stalemate here.
Longneck with the flick. Masamune trails, gets the offensive pressure, less than a minute to go. Spectres need a goal to tie this thing and force overtime. Can they get it done? K1 into the corner, looks for the 50. Masamune follows towards the net. Longneck is up, can't get by Billy Bob. That man is a former savior of the season in his own right and gets the open net on the back end. Nail in the coffin.
Nail in the coffin for sure. The Spectres, unfortunately, they took that trade. They took the defensive, they kind of sacrificed the defensive for their offensive play, and unfortunately the offense did not work out for them.
Yeah, in these late stages of the game, that's what you have to do. Less than 30 seconds to go, trying to force overtime. That's really all you can hope for if you're the Spectres. But nonetheless, they are still fighting here with 17 seconds to go. But we are going to go into game number 2 with a Hammerheads series lead. What a save by Masamune there. Longneck pushing this thing towards the mid. Fabrizi off that corner, pass to himself, flip up. Billy Bob gets the hat trick.
Yeah, Billy Bob and his hat tricks here. I know Zack Attack wanted that goal there. Unfortunately, he just did get bumped a little bit over him. But, luckily Billy Bob saw that, was there to kind of just another nail in the coffin, if that's how you want to put it. Kind of just wrecking the spirits of the Spectres here.
Yeah, and it is only game 1 here, Night Leapers, so give us the rundown. Obviously, it was a 1-goal game up until 30 seconds left. And you made a very good call that, they traded that back end for that offensive push because, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, I think the Spectres just, they kind of got to that point where it's like, we have to take any shot we can. We don't have time to sit back anymore and play defensive. And, that's when you make those kind of decisions, there is a much greater margin for fumbles and slip ups, and unfortunately, they seem to have found two major slip ups that did lead to more goals.
And we will see how the Spectres can react here. Obviously, Spectres are one of those teams so far that have pretty much the lineup changes that they want at their disposal as long as they have Cub Nuts available. However, I do not see, what the strategy might be for Spectres going into game number 2. Do we see a Cub Nuts appearance?
Coming off of a loss, I wouldn't put it past Monsterman to throw him in. He has been on the lineup both of these past weeks. The first week they did win 2-1 against the Speed Demons. It does not look like he's going to be putting him in, and it does not look like Billy Bob will be putting in Joe Papa either. So maybe this is just going to be a 3-game lineup, or maybe we'll see some subs in the third game.
And we have the same lineup in this game as we did in the last. Here we go. Hammerheads lead the series 1-0. K1 on a good sheet on the face-off there for the Spectres. Pushing the offensive now is Massamune into the corner. K1 Killer back pass. Massamune towards the net. That was a beautiful team play. Mass just hit the near post.
Post, fourth defender of the Hammerheads right now. That was a great redirect there by Massamune. Unfortunately, just a little bit off to the side, and it seems that the Hammerheads have almost full control here in the offensive. But, of course, as I say that, Caster's curse. Here we go with the Spectres in the offensive. And a huge goal right there by Massamune off of the pass from Longneck.
Big goal by Massamune. You can telegraph this from a mile away if you're Massamune. You just hope that the Hammerheads don't get the clear off the back end. And that's exactly what happened. Big goal there. Spectres take their first lead of the night.
Yeah, and is this their first lead of the night? I'm not entirely sure.
Yes,
but
it's 1-0 for Hammerheads most of game 1. They didn't score in game 1.
Right. So, they're definitely looking to hold on to this. Maybe put in some more goals, but they may pull back and just focus kind of on a defensive here.
4 minutes to go. Anybody's game. Billy Bob up off the ceiling. Rolls down. No. Big clear there. Way up high. K1 Killer as Longneck looking for the shot. Can't quite corral it. And we have so much more time here to go. This is still anybody's game. Hammerheads looking to take the series early, coming off of their loss last week, but the Spectres looking to even the series up and prevent losing 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, losing 2 weeks in a row definitely sucks and is not a place you want to be in. It's not the end of the world, but they're definitely not looking to be in that place again. The Hammerheads, would also be in a 2-week loss if they went down here. So kind of both teams had the same stakes going.
And Longneck looked like he was trying to run this thing. Fabrizi cuts it off. Zack Attack with a nice little bump in net as the Hammerheads take this goal and tie this game. Looking to take the series in game number 2. 3:20 to go. 1-1 game here. Anybody's to go as we will guaranteed see one more goal here, Leaper.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more patience here, kind of like game 1. Or, sorry, that's my bad. That was a different match. I'm seeing a lot more patience here overall, though, from the Hammerhead. They're a little bit slower in their moves, kind of more calculated. You have to wonder if maybe they just have better calm going on, or if the Spectres are panicking.
2:50 to go. Longneck at the mid. Zack Attack fields this thing, gets spun out by Longneck. What a great job there. Wasn't a demo, but it was just as good for the time being. Big 50 by K1 Killer towards the offensive zone. But Billy Bob up on that sidewall where we've seen him so many times before. This one's towards the net. Squeezes in!
Big goal there for Zack Attack. First of the night for him. And, he has had multiple shots, so it's good to see that he finally got one in. Great aerial there. Longneck just couldn't quite get the save on defensive.
And the Hammerheads have scored 2 unanswered here in game number 2. We will see if they can hold on to this lead or if the Spectres can answer back. Spectres scored first here in game number 2, and we will see what happens with 2:20 to go here in game number 2. K1 Killer towards the offensive zone. Long neck. Looking for the touch. Doesn't quite get by Billy Bob, however, as Billy Bob now fielding at the mid. Passes! Nobody home there. Fabrizi wanted that one back.
Yeah, Spectres are pushing an offensive here. You know, they got 2 minutes, so they have all the time really in the world they need here to get this other goal, but they're definitely wanting to get it as soon as possible. They want that relax time in the end when they can, you know, kind of focus on getting another goal for the win. An overtime can be a lot more nerve-wracking than just an in-game goal.
Billy Bob can't get the shot on that he needed, got bumped on the way up, and now we see with 1:35 to go, Hammerheads keeping pressure on Billy Bob. What a save by Long Nick, the rookie.
Yeah, right there to catch that shot. I mean, he knew exactly where that thing was going. Long Nick's, you know, proven himself quite well these past few weeks. Like I said last week, you know, me and Pickle were discussing his kind of question mark of what kind of player he was, but he's definitely shown himself these past 2 weeks, and I hold him in pretty high regard.
Massimune got way up for that one, couldn't get the shot on, however. Long Neck, back pass from K1 Killer. Can't get anything going. Massimune can't get the clear. Less than a minute to go. The Spectres need to score here, or else they will lose this series. Their second in 2 weeks to the Hammerheads. As we see Long Neck put one on. Beautiful save by Fabrizi.
Yeah, he was very calm with that. You know, it was kind of a unfortunate save, or unfortunate 50 for the Hammerheads there in the midfield, but oof, goal right there by Long Neck. Kind of just bounced it. Massimune just kind of, you know, and wow, full team play here. Look at this, bouncing it all around the Hammerheads. They had no idea which way that ball was going.
Great goal there by Long Neck. This is now a game, ladies and gentlemen. Spectres not going down without a fight. 36 seconds to go. Potentially seeing overtime here for the first time tonight, Light Leaper.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I always hope so. And ooh, Billy Bob does not want to see an overtime right here. A big goal from Billy Bob, right, you know, aerial goal right here, dead center. Just, you know, got to pass the defense.
Great pass by Fabrizi to Billy Bob, something we saw all sorts of times last season. Fabrizi was one of the league leaders in assists last season. Long Neck puts one towards the net, saved by Billy Bob. K1 Killer up in the air, can't get the touch, however. Zack Attack with a beautiful touch there. Looking to get this thing back is the Hammerheads to seal this deal, but the Spectres still have a chance to tie and force overtime. 5 seconds to go. They need this ball to stay in the air. Up to Long Neck. Long Neck towards the net, misses wide. K1 Killer can't get there in time, and the Spectres will drop game number 2, and the Hammerheads will take the series.
Yep, I mean, I had the Hammerheads from the start for a victory, so you have to wonder, you know, the Spectres do not want to sweep here, and sometimes you'll see teams fight even harder to not get swept than they do to actually win the series, because you want to at least take home one game here, at least for the stats.
That is honestly such a good point. You know, the dreaded brooms, as we like to call them. Nobody wants to see the brooms if you are on the receiving end, and the Spectres are going to fight very hard. I agree here, Leaper, to avoid getting swept. All 3 Hammerheads putting one in that game.
Yeah, so you have to wonder with with an already series win if Billy Bob will be putting in his 4th guy, kind of, since, you know, they've already won, or if he's going to stick with the same lineup and look for that sweep.
No question about it, and ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be crucial for both of these teams' seasons moving forward as to who wins this 3rd game of this 3-game matchup. We will see if the Hammerheads can finish the sweep, or if the Spectres can avoid getting swept and get this W here in game number 3. Both teams running the same 3 players again for the 2nd straight match here, Leaper.
Yeah, this is the 2nd series, you know, of the night where we have not seen any subs come in, which is quite surprising because week 2 we did see a lot of subs being played.
Yes, we did, but we are underway. Long Neck, net is wide open, and an unfortunate recoil there by the Hammerheads. One was looking to save, another was looking to save, and we have a little bit of geometry putting this one into the back of the net. Spectres take the lead.
Yeah, as Long Neck says, in the chat, this is Rocket League. Anything's gonna happen. An unfortunate little play there by the Hammerheads. They're definitely working right now to kind of redeem themselves in this last game. They don't want to get, they want that sweep.
And K1 Killer couldn't finish that one off to give the Spectres a 2-goal lead. You know he wants that one back, but nonetheless, the Hammerheads looking to answer here. 4:36 to go. Hammerheads looking to sweep the Spectres here in week number 3. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're having fun here, do not go anywhere, because after this match is over, we have one more match between the Cyclones and the Kings.
Yeah, that's going to be a very fun match to watch. Looking forward to that a lot. But, we still got this one going down right now, and the Hammerheads are really working their defensive here. I don't know what it is the Spectres are doing, but they've definitely seemed, they're putting a lot more effort into their offensive.
Big touch here as we see now 4 minutes to go. Spectres looking to get another goal here as soon as they get out of their defensive end. Hammerheads towards the mid. Zack Attack catches back pass to Billy Bob now. Billy Bob towards the net. This one could be on. And a big save by Longneck through the pressure of Zack Attack.
Oh, I know they all wanted that. Zack Attack almost getting the bump for the goal. And, Billy Bob and Fabrizi, unfortunately, with a little bit of a double commit there, both bumping it just a bit too high and nobody to collect the rebound. You have to wonder if they are maybe panicking here. It does seem like they're just a little bit more antsy, a little bit more aggressive here on the offensive.
3:17 to go. Spectres lead game number 1. Massamune trying to kiss this thing back to Longneck. Look at all the bumps, and Longneck scores! Look at the demolition derby by Massamune here on this replay.
I mean, he definitely knew what he was doing here. He knocked out, the two highest ranked players on the team, and Zack Attack with an unfortunate backflip there that had to be calmed.
2-goal lead. What a clutch bump there by Massamune. Series of bumps, I should say, as the Spectres have a little bit of cushion now. First time tonight.
Billy Bob was not liking those bumps he got last round, or last goal, so he definitely wanted to get his revenge there. But yeah, Hammerhead's definitely looking for this 2 goals now. 2 goals unanswered here by the Spectres, which is the first of the night. The Hammerhead seem to just be, a little bit off. They just can't seem to really get any kind of shots here.
Yeah, no question. And with 2:35 to go, the Brooms seem like they're going to stay in the closet here for the time being, as the Spectres now. Net is open. Fabrizi's last back gets there in time. Great speed.
Yeah, I believe it was Mosspoon just couldn't quite, get to the ball in time. It went way back. Big bounce over Fabrizi. And, Fabrizi's showing himself quite well tonight. He is leading, an offense, usually in the second position on his team scoreboard, sitting right now with 1 save. Him and Billy Bob really do work together. They are kind of that dream team, that golden duo here of our league.
Big opportunity to go. Less than 2 minutes to go. The Hammerheads need to score here in order to get the sweep hopes that they so desperately are looking for. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the Hammerheads are the all-time team leaders in sweeps in the QRLS. If they take this game tonight, that would put them at 19 sweeps. And Billy Bob wants that 19th sweep.
Yeah, Billy Bob. Big goal there. The Spectres' goal is just open here. I mean, I see Mosspoon got a little bit spun out there by Billy Bob, but you have to wonder where that third man was, where the rotations kind of fell.
And the Hammerheads looking to chip away. Less than 1:30 to go in this one. Let's see if we can get a nice little tie goal here by the Hammerheads, or if the Spectres can put the ice in the veins and keep this thing into their possession and in their lead. To avoid getting swept in week number 3 here. 1:14 to go. Longneck in the corner. Big push here. Beautiful demo. As we see now, another big clear by Massamune. Longneck, what speed there to beat Fabrizi to it. Passes this one down. Massamune's there. Great clear there by the Hammerheads.
Yeah, Longneck's definitely, kind of leading the Spectres in this third game here. 2 goals and 3 saves. He is maybe their best offensive player as of this week and last week from what we've seen. They're really working it here. see the Spectres are kind of, laid back on their offense. They really don't need to get another one, especially with under a minute remaining. They're kind of just looking for a defensive here.
What a pinch there by Billy Bob and Zack Attack, pushing this thing into the offensive zone. Fabrizi looking for bumps, doesn't quite get there quick enough, however, as with less than 30 seconds to go, Billy Bob looking to lead this team into overtime at this point. Gets by one, the net's open! Oh, what a save!
What a save by Longneck. That was so close to going in. Billy Bob had full shot on that net, open net. Longneck got back just in time, and it seems like that was the game-winning save here for the Spectres. Definitely a great game here and a show-off from Longneck.
Great job by Longneck on the save, securing, avoiding the sweep for the Spectres, and a great match nonetheless. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more match to go. We will be back shortly. Don't go anywhere.